Hey there, my name is Princess Abiyonaska, and today we're taking a closer look of one of America's most influential figures, Thomas Jefferson. So let's explore the life and impact of Thomas Jefferson and buckle up because this is going to be fascinating ride through history. It all began on April 13, 1743, when Thomas Jefferson was born in the scenic town of Shadwell, Virginia. From humble beginnings, he would go on to become one of the architects of American democracy. And now, let's talk about the Declaration of Independence. In 1776, Jefferson took up his pen and drafted this monumental document declaring the America's independence from British rule. So, it wasn't just a piece of paper, it was a declaration of freedom that resonated around the world. Jefferson didn't stop there. From 1801 to 1809, he served as the third president of the United States. His presidency was marked by visionary leadership, including the historic Louisiana Purchase, which doubled the size of the young nation. But Jefferson wasn't just a politician, he was a man of many talents. He had a keen interest in architecture and designed his own stunning state Monticello. It is a masterpiece that still dazzles visitors today.
Monticello, which means little mountain in Italian, reflects Thomas Jefferson's keen interest in neoclassical architecture. Jefferson designed the house himself, and construction began in 1768. Jefferson lived at Monticello, which served as a working plantation from 1770 until his death in 1826. A complex aspect of Monticello's history is its association with slavery. Jefferson owned a significant number of enslaved individuals who worked on the plantation. The Sally Hemings controversy is notable. Hemings, an enslaved woman, is believed by many historians to have had a relationship with Jefferson, and it's believed that some of her descendants were fathered by him. Monticello is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site and has been designated a National Historic Landmark.
And let's not forget about education. So Jefferson was passionate about learning and founded the University of Virginia, where he championed the ideals of intellectual freedom and inquiry. Thomas Jefferson, a man whose ideas and actions shaped the course of American history, from drafting the Declaration and Independence to expanding the nation's borders and promoting education. So his legacy inspires us today. Beyond his political and intellectual pursuit, Jefferson was also an avid inventor and scientist. He experimented with agriculture, designed inventions like the wheel chipper, and contribute the fields such as paleontology and ethnology. So Jefferson's curiosity extended to the natural world. He sponsored Lewis and Clark expedition and sending Meriwether Lewis and William Clark to explore and map the newly acquired Louisiana territory, paving the way for westward expansion and scientific discovery. So, Thomas Jefferson's wife was Martha Wales Skelton Jefferson. They married in 1772. Martha was born on October 30, 1748, in Charles City County, Virginia. She was the daughter of John Wales, a prominent Virginia lawyer, and Martha Epes Wales. Martha Jefferson was well educated and cultured, and she and Jefferson shared a deep affection for each other. Martha and Thomas Jefferson had 6 children together. Although only 2 daughters, Martha and Mary, survived to adulthood, Martha's health was delicate. and she suffered from recurring bouts of illness. Throughout her life, tragically, Martha passed away on September 6, 1782 at the age of 33, leaving Jefferson grief-stricken. Martha Jefferson's role in her husband's life was significant, and she provided support and companionship during their marriage. However, her premature death meant that she did not play a prominent public role like some other First Lady in American history. Despite this, Martha Jefferson's influence on Thomas Jefferson's personal and political life cannot be overlooked as the relationship deeply impacted him.
In 76, where tension had been rising in American colonies for years and emotions were at a tipping point. The Second Continental Congress was already in session in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, when the cries for independence grew too fierce to ignore. And the time has come to formally separate from the Great Britain. On June 11, 1776, a committee of 5 men were chosen to draft the ultimate breakup letter or the separation letter. This group of men were John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Roger Sherman, Thomas Jefferson, and Robert Livingston. For over 17 days, a document was penned that would impact the lives of generations of people, and that is the Declaration of Independence. Thomas Jefferson was the leader of the committee and was the main author of the Declaration of Independence. He organized the document into different parts. The preamble, the Declaration of Natural Rights, list of grievances, and resolution of independence. The preamble was the introduction to the document, and Jefferson didn't mince words. It says there that when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. In the modern words, American would be like, "Hey Great Britain, we don't want to be with you no more." And you're about to find out why. This leads us to the second part of the document, which is the Declaration of Natural Rights. It states here that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Then he goes stating that the power of government comes from the people, and if the government abuses the rights of the people, they have a right to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. With this point in the document, if it wasn't yet clear enough to Great Britain why America was separating from them, they'd be like, "Oh no, that's not just it. We also brought receipts." And this leads us to the third part of the document, which is the list of grievances. Thomas Jefferson, along with the committee, really spilled the tea in the list of grievances, where he set out to list all the complaints of the colonists had against King George III. What were the complaints, you ask? Well, let's take a peek. These are the list of grievances against the king. He has refused to enforce law. He has forbidden certain laws from being passed. He has made it hard for the colonists to fully practice in government. And he has limited American expansion into new territories. He has forbidden the passage of laws that would establish judicial powers in the colonies. He has forced colonies to house British troops. He has allowed British troops to go unpunished for their crimes. He has cut off trade to the colonists. He has taxed the colonists unfairly. He has refused to protect the colonists from attacks. And now we are down to the final part of the document, which is the Resolution of Independence. In the final section of the Declaration of Independence, the colonists solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and if right, ought to be free and independent states. With these words, the American colonists had charted a new path towards freedom. On the July 4th, 1776, the Declaration of Independence was officially adopted by the Second Continental Congress, and a new native was reborn.
His presidency was marked by his commitment to limited government and farming ideals. In 1803, he acquired a vast territory from the French that doubled the size of the U.S. through the Louisiana Purchase. He then commissioned the famous Lewis and Clark expedition to explore the newly acquired territory. His second term is mostly remembered for his efforts to remain neutral in the midst of the conflict between Britain and France. Jefferson helped shape the American experiment in democracy and laid the foundation for the nation's enduring commitment to liberty, equality, and the pursuit of happiness.